As you know, one of the biggest things at the Sheriff's Office is developing partnerships within the community to make sure we have that trust of the community and that we can work hand in hand with them. And when an issue arises, whether it's a need on our part or the community's part, we're able to respond together and address that issue through those partnerships that we've created. Deputy Robbie Martin is a Sarasota resident. He has grown up in this community. He knows the needs of the agricultural community, and what better person to address those needs.
Currently work in the agricultural unit within the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office. I've been employed with the Sheriff's Office for coming up on 15 years. I've been in the agricultural unit for about a year and a half. I live on property here in Sarasota that was cleared by my great-grandfather in 1900. So I have roots that go back 117 years. And I currently have some cattle and some citrus that my brother and I raised together as a family operation. A part of this job is getting to know the ranchers, getting to know the property owners, who has cattle, horses, livestock in various areas of the county. So in the case that animals get out or maybe a car runs through a fence, we know who the property owners are and can call them to respond to either help repair fencing or get the livestock back in, or in the case of an injured animal, we know who the owners are as well. Here's the property that we were monitoring on Monday. This is where they had approximately 40 head of cattle. This has always been a typical low area where it's flooded. I've seen the two houses to the west underwater in years past. It was approximately maybe 2 feet higher than what it is right now. You couldn't see any of the grass sticking through the water on Monday. But as the rain stopped, some of the grass started poking through the water, and the cattle moved from where the cow pens are, where there's some high ground. They actually started moving out through the water, grazing on the grass that started sticking through. And then some of them actually came up on this mound of dirt and started resting up there. We monitored that. We were watching them. They didn't appear to be under stress. It was typical cattle behavior. They were, as we call it, chewing their cud, laying up there, and they would move back and forth from the cow pens to the berm. But at that time, there was adequate grass for them and adequate foliage.
I've lived in Sarasota for like 50 years. Cows were in good shape and they were on high ground, and they were doing fine. I think it just got blown out of proportion with the media. There's an agricultural unit with the Sheriff's Department. They do a great job. They're obviously we're paying attention to what's going on out there. I think one of the range deputies lives close by, and he had everything under control.
I was in contact with the cattle owner, and I told him, I said, we're going to monitor it, and you may have to bring another hay, some hay source, a food source like hay, or maybe cattle cubes out for them if it prolongs. Fortunately, the rain stopped, and he was able to get a trailer in and remove the cattle yesterday. We just looked at the situation, and we figured the best thing to do is just relax and be patient. The cattle were fine. They weren't being stressed. Had we tried to bring horses or something else in to try to move them, to me and to other owners that I talked to, that would have put undue stress on them. So we just waited. The cattle actually gathered at the cow pens yesterday morning, so there wasn't any need to use horses to gather them. They were already over there, and we penned them and loaded them on trailers, and everything went really smooth.